yesteryear. We're on the Chet of, that's 8th of Av, marks the Hilula of another famous Turkish rabbi, Rabbi Eliezer Hazan. We've spoken about various great rabbis from Turkey, especially over the last few days. And the 8th of Av, in the year 1823, actually marks his Hilula. He was approximately 38 years of age, I think, at the time he passed away. He was born in English year 1786 in Izmir, which was a center Torah place respectively in Israel, and he passed away in 1823 in the capital city of Eretz Israel, Jerusalem. A very, very great rabbi of his day. He'd gone to become a judge, a dayan in Izmir, and also in Jerusalem, and become a great rabbi in the Kabbalistic yeshiva, Yeshivat Bet El in Jerusalem, a place he's spoken about on various occasions before. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the famous rabbi's life. So he was born, I think he was born in an area, I believe it was called, I think in Izmir. This was, I'm not sure which part of Izmir it was. And I think his father was a great rabbi. His father's name was Rabbi Eliezer Hazan, one of the great sages of Izmir. I think his father, actually, at one stage in time, was a Rishon LeZion. So he came from really great rabbinic auspices. His father passed away, I believe, in the year 1820, and was actually a Rishon LeZion, a chief rabbi of Israel, for about 3 years, between the years 1818 to 1820, respectively. I've spoken about him on various occasions before. So he came from very, very great rabbinic auspices. And I believe his mother's name was actually Rabbinit Reina. She was, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, from the Pelagi family, great family in of itself. So you can see the greatness they actually came from. And his father was the author of the Chakirei Lev book, actually, I think, which was printed in the year 1786 in Izmir. He would learn Torah under auspices of his father, and really would garner up a great reputation, and saw him as really became like, the potential was absolutely incredible with regards to the rabbi. Now, I think it was a time period, maybe in the mid 1930s, let's just say, mid 1820s or something like that. It was around the time period Heitav Kuf Ayin Hey. I'm not sure exactly. He would actually make aliyah to move to the land of Eretz Israel, I think with his family. I think his parents were there at the time. They would settle in Jerusalem. And his father, I believe, as we stated before, passed away in the year 1820. Remember, he was a chief rabbi of Jerusalem, one of the great positions it could have been possibly at that stage in time across the world. And he would dwell, I think, after he passed away, he would live in a courtyard, I think, quite close to, if I'm not mistaken, around the old city area in Jerusalem. This was as it says over here, Lezrat mishpachto amdu kruvav b'giburei ha'ir benehem Arab. Yeah, so very interesting. And it was a central place over there. I think it was. He would say in Jerusalem, basically, that's where they would live. Wow. So very much that was area in of itself that he would actually, and we said that he would go on to study in the famous Yeshivat Beit El, a righteous man who sits and engaged in Torah and brings unity with regards to Israel in of itself. I think this quotation is actually quoted within regards to it. And to live in Eretz Israel at that point in time, there were many great rabbis. Remember, the Yeshivat Bet El was one of the famous yeshivot in Israel, and much can be said within regards to that. We actually recorded a video specifically about the famous yeshiva in of itself. Now, he would get married to Rabbanit Sarah, and they would have 2 sons, including Rabbi Yisrael Moshe Hazan, who would go on to become a great rabbi. He was part of the great court in Jerusalem. He was a Shadash, the Rabbanan. They would actually travel to Western Europe. I think he would become the chief rabbis of Rome, Corfu, Alexandria, and a Kabbalist and author of various great Jewish books. He's one of them. Another son would be Rabbi Yitzchak Hazan, who would get married to, I believe, Rabbanit Rivka, respectively. So really great children will be left also. And I think it was, just to add on, I think about 2 years it was after his father passed away. He sadly passed away before he had turned 40. Now, it's reported over that it's likely that his Hilula is the 8th of Av, and it might have been actually on the same day that Rabbi Yom Tov Danon had passed away. He was also one of the great rabbis of Izmir of that point in time. He was also a Rishon, yes, there's differing opinions. Rabbi Yom Tov Danon, interesting enough, well, yeah, it might have been he passed away on the same date as Rav Yom Tov Danon did, but not 100% sure. Rav Yom Tov Danon was about 82 years of age. He was, interesting enough, Rabbi Yom Tov Danon, a Rishon LeZion chief rabbi for about 3 years also, right after his father was a chief rabbi, the Rishon LeZion. He was buried himself in the place Har Zeitim, Mount of Olives burial place. So reported over, it could have been that they passed away on the same date, on the 8th of Abba. I'll need confirmation on that because it's this is what I'm just reading over to what Wikipedia actually says over here. His nephew, I believe, will be Rabbi Chaim Pelagic, one of the great rabbis, and he would actually testify and eulogize him about the greatness he was, how diligent he was as a great Torah studier, Torah learner in of itself. Rabbi Raphael Ashkenazi, who I think was a head rabbi of Izmir, would also speak some words about him. Also Rabbi Shlomo Hakim and Rabbi Abraham Yitzchak Fardo, very great rabbis, I think, from the Pardo rabbinic dynasty. Let's explore some of the writings of his great over Torah books in of itself, and many different Torah works. I think at a later stage, Abad Shalom company publishers will actually print some of his writings, including the Amudei Harazim, which was in 4 volumes, if I'm not mistaken, in Jerusalem in Tafshin Mem Gimel, and I think connected very much with Rabbi Eliezer Mamitz, if I'm not mistaken. This was an important book. I think he would write writings on Rabbi Eliezer Mamitz. Correct me if I'm wrong. Another book, there was Drushim LeHesped. That was another one. I think, I'm not too sure where that was. Amudei Harazim. This was Chidushim on the, let's say, the matters of the great Ari HaKodesh, let's just say, the writings of his. Rabbi Yitzchak ben Shlomo Luria. It was actually his Hilula just a couple of days ago on Hay Av, respectively. And he wrote Hidushim on Shas, on Talmud Bavli, respectively, encompassment on the various different selections. There'll be a Shelot Shuvot, question and answers, Mishpatei Hashem. This is printed in Jerusalem in Tafshin Nun Hey. And I think it was very different to Shuvot on the Yoredeo book, Kashrut book, let's just say in itself. Maaseh Adam, this was Kitzur on the 630 mitzvot. Alpi Sefer Haridim. Really great books this happened to be. And I recommend everyone to actually read more within regards to it. More highlights can be actually stated over within regards to his life. He was very much great rabbi before, who we've mentioned about on various occasions before. Much of the Torah learning that he actually learned was actually under his father's auspices. He would learn really much firsthand the greatness of Torah, and settling the land of Israel was a great thing. Ascended to the heights of Torah and holiness, as to say, and many would actually attest to his greatness in Torah, especially his father. And his father saw him as a successor. Let's just say he was very knowledgeable, and was one of the great rabbis of the Yeshivat Bet El. Remember the Yeshivat Bet El? We actually did record a video on. Now, I think he was actually buried also in Har Zeitim, the Mount of Olives plot, and we spoke about the various different chidushim that actually he wrote in his life. Few teachings from his book, just quoting the Hayami website over here, which is definitely a very good resource for everyone within regards to the various different books and different rabbis that were in his point in time. He actually, one of the teachings says, "Melamed litchazek b'lemodo musar laskir lielech tamid etzed irei Hashem." This, I think, is from Amud Aleph. I think in this is actually printed, I think, from the Abad Shalom publishing house, I think in the year 1983, if I'm not mistaken. This great Torah book was, and we can explore more teachings from his great books, from many of his writings. Another teaching is melamed heter lesinat achote rak menara le'en evet libo tzarich la'avo. This comes from Chelek Gimel in one of the books. And last teaching, melamed shetov tzadik osek b'torah be'eretz Yisrael beit hamikdash. The importance of learning Torah, especially in Eretz Yisrael. This, I think, comes from page 71 in the Chidushei Marash Hazan, if I'm not mistaken. Once again, published, I think, from Abad Shalom in Jerusalem. I think that was in the year 1990, if I'm not mistaken. So he was a very famous rabbi of his time, and I reckon everyone to learn more information within regards to him. And please, everyone, learn more about the great rabbis of yesteryear. We try and record biography videos at the time here at the Hilula of various different great rabbanim, especially from the Sephardi, North African countries, Ottoman countries, we are trying to explore the history and online encyclopedia on some of the greatness of some of the great Rabbanim. So please, everyone, learn more information on them, and not necessarily watch these videos. Please find more information. Go to various different Beit Midrash. There's some excellent books on the various different countries of Yesir, and biography books in English even on great Chachamim that there happen to have been over the past 1,000+ years, 2,000 years. There's much can be related over. So I urge everyone to learn more and become well versed in the great rabbis, and just wishing you all a Shabbat Shalom. We're about to come into the date of Tisha B'Av. It's going to be Motzei Shabbat. We're coming into Parshat Devarim, the Shabbat. The start of Mishnah Torah, Sefer Devarim also is popularly known as. So I would recommend everyone to learn more, and please subscribe to the channel. And if you descend from any of the great rabbis we are speaking about, please send me an email. I would love to hear more information. So thanks very much, everyone. Have a great day, and Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for watching.